So anyway, moving on. You know, I'll be doing mixing up. When it starts getting a little warmer, I'll start mixing it up, and I'll start going back to the beach. And I'll kind of go back and forth all winter. And there's things on the beach like now. There's big schools of red drum in the surf along the beach fronts. You know, and it's kind of a dangerous proposition. But there are huge schools of redfish on our beach fronts right now. And you can just about see where one's sitting right here on Masonboro Island. And there's a couple ways to target these fish. We can always get out of the boat, park on the waterway side, hump over to across Masonboro, and walk the beach looking for these fish on the surf. And there's certain times when you want to do it, light west wind. You got the sun up a little bit, 10 to 2 o'clock in the day. If you got offshore breezes and low seas, you can do it from either side. You can do it in the boat or you can do it from the beach. Now, if you do it from the boat once and you see how many fish are up and down that beach, you probably won't get on the beach much more after that, because all you got to do is run these beaches in the winter. If you get all those variables, the west wind, the low seas, the sun in the right spot, and you got the day to do it, you simply go out any inlet, run towards the beach, you're getting about water this big. You get one guy watching for waves, and you get one guy watching the beach, and you just start rolling up on a plane up the beach. You can go out Masonboro, out CD Inlet, you go up Masonboro all the way up Wrightsville Beach and Lee Island. I guarantee you run that whole distance, you're going to find them, and hundreds of them schooled up real tight on the beach fronts. And when I'm fishing for those fish in the surf, I like to throw a gulp, something scented, something that you know they're going to want to eat. But they will try. I've tried other stuff, non-scented things, but they, you know, when you finally get the boat lined up, you get the fish coming your way, you get that bait in there, you get a gulp in there, you don't have to impart any action. It's got the scent. It's not, and they love those things. I don't use a ton of it, but when in that situation, a gulp on a heavier, just a standard jig head, not a weedless. There's a variety of jig heads that I like. I particularly like the Blue Water Candy. They're a local company that makes these here in town. I like their products a whole lot. But you put those on a gulp, you find the fish in the surf. The hardest part is going to be locating them on the beach, but they're there. I know guys that did it today and found hundreds and hundreds of them on the beach fronts. It is a little bit dangerous. Try to find somebody that's done it before if you're going to try it in the ocean. And a west breeze is safer because it'll help blow you back once you hook a fish. You know, a lot of times you'll see all the fish, you'll hook one, and you'll be like, there's waves coming. Just click the boat into reverse back, pull yourself out, and that little west breeze will help push you out to where you need to be in waist deeper, better water where you're not going to worry about a wave crashing in. But about every one of those trips ended up with water in the floor of the boat and the wave crashing over. But it's exciting and it's fun, and if you're safe about it, you can really catch them good like
Jamie,
that.
you're saying they're right up in the shallows?
They're up against the beach as close as they
They're
can
laying
get,
on it.
because the porpoises are cruising up and down the beaches trying to eat them. And there's not a whole lot in the ocean for the porpoises to really eat right now to sustain them, because they're big animals. They need a bigger fish to eat. And they know that the fish are out there. So the porpoises are going to be near the reds, and you'll witness those porpoises crash in schools of reds. It's mind-blowing. And it goes on all winter, but there's so many variables involved that it's really hard. I tell you, I try to go on more days that it works out. Then it doesn't work out, then it does. But when it does, it's a beautiful thing. Now, and there's also redfish. These are all going to be bigger fish, too. These are going to be fish that are top of the slot and over to 30-some inches, because the smaller rat reds and stuff, they'll spin. They're still juveniles. They'll live in the inshore waters and these flats and bays and creeks. And a good place to look for the redfish in the wintertime on the waterway would be in some of these east to west facing creeks. Look on the northerly side. Any creeks that have big black mud oystery pockets, they love that. And I mean, if you just went every east and west facing creek and looked on the north side when the sun was in that same state of the day, they're going to be looking to warm somewhere they got near deep water, but they also got some muddy water to get muddy bottom to get warm on. And they're in dockage, you know. But in those cases, I'm not using as many artificial lures other than something scented. There again, the battle's finding the fish. I don't go wasting a lot of time just fishing places. I go look for fish this time of year when the water's in the below 60. There's no microscopic hardly organisms in the water. It gets crystal clear, and it helps you to find and look for fish. But using for redfish on the inside and there and a lot, you know, a gulp, or, you know, I'm not too proud to say I'm a shrimp cup man in the wintertime, and I always keep a big cup of shrimp. If you do find some reds and they're being a little stubborn, they will not turn down a big fresh piece of shrimp. But that's we're talking about lures tonight, so. But I'm a meat and potatoes man, and I use a lot of meat for red fishing. But anyway, there are a lot of artificial baits later in the season that they'll readily take.